What's going on, everybody? Welcome to ENA. We Got Time. I'm Alex. We have a very special guest with us today, NFL veteran, current Tampa Bay Viper. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome y'all. Give him a big round of applause to Reece.
We run this every damn day. Whoever lines up across you, hit him in the mouth and tell him, I'm going to be back for some more, baby. 1, 2, 3.
Say what's up to the people, man.
What's going on? How we doing, everybody?
All right. Appreciate you. All right, let's just go ahead and get straight into it. Okay, coming out of college, did it give you an extra chip on your shoulder going undrafted, or did you always have a certain edge, or did it make you feel like you had to prove something more?
Yeah, first off, I just want to say thanks for having me on the show, Alex. And, going out of college undrafted, it's always a chip on your shoulder, but that's been my motto my whole life. Wasn't heavily recruited out of high school. I was pretty slow. I'm just going to keep it honest, and was definitely a late bloomer in the football world. But yeah, man, it just developed at a young age from my family, my two older brothers, my mom, and my dad. They just always said, keep pushing, never be satisfied, never get comfortable, and I just really applied that to football. And obviously, I've had some success with football, and I really just had to apply that to my everyday life with just having a chip on your shoulder. Always just trying to be the hardest worker in the room and know about your surroundings and everything like that, and just really staying focused with where you want to be. So that's just kind of my motto that I've brought, day in and day out.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, going into the NFL, what was the easiest and hardest thing as far as transitioning?
Yeah. So I was a December grad in 2016, and I was with the Colts for a hot minute, and then was released, and then signed with the Tennessee Titans. So I think the hardest thing for me was just being a young guy coming out of college and not really fully grasping that, okay, you're in the NFL now, let's get roll. So I think that was a big adjustment for me at first. And then, obviously as practices and everything went on, I was like, okay, we're here, let's roll. And I think the easiest adjustment for me was, at the end of the day, it's football. It's obviously the highest level of football, but, at the end of the day, we all know, and if we all get to that level, and even here in the XFL, that, this is football, and it's a job, and it's a high performance business. And at the end of the day, you got to know your plays, you got to be healthy, and you got to produce on the field too. So those are 3 main points that I really always, think about and execute, when I'm in the locker room and when I'm in a facility, no matter if it's, NFL, XFL. If you're brought in to do your best and to perform. There's no other way around it. So those are the easiest thing that I, adjusted to was just, get in the playbook and performing. So.
Okay. Now this can go for NFL or XFL. What teammate did you learn the most from at the receiver position?
Yeah. Excuse me. I would say my time previously, just this past year and previous year, and when I was with the Dolphins, I learned a lot from Albert Wilson and Kenny Stills. Kenny's with the Texans right now, obviously, and then Albert's still with the Dolphins. But, when I first, going back to before XFL, when I was signed with the Dolphins, Albert was one of the first guys in the locker room to kind of throw his arm around me and just be like, hey, man, I know you're the new guy in the locker room. If there's anything I need, just let me know. So him and I clicked pretty well. He's just a good man on off the field. I was fortunate enough to work his fundraiser camp last summer, and that kind of where he's from, and just kind of see Albert off the field as far as, out of the locker room. So that was awesome. And him and I would always chop it up. And then transitioning with Kenny, Kenny would always he would just be such a great teammate because he's just so knowledgeable with, as well off the field, taps, and not to mention kind of helping my game out as far as releases, a better move off the line if a DB is pressing you. And, Kenny had me over to his house too a handful of times, and Kenny was just one of those guys. He's been in the league for a while, but he knows what it's like a new guy on a team in the locker room. We've all been there at one point. And Kenny's just, he's a great man. He knows his stuff, especially off the field too. That's why I've always been a love following them. I love staying in touch with them. And really just, so both of those guys, Albert and Kenny, were guys that really stood out to me and kind of helped me personally on and off the field and inside and out of the locker room.
Gotcha. Okay, to kind of piggyback off of that, do you have a favorite route? And if so, what is it? Like, if you had to get on the field, the DB didn't matter, nothing really mattered. If you just had one play, you could get open and you could execute and go ahead and get the ball where you need it to be, what play would that be?
Yeah, so I think I love them all, but just to answer your question, and I'm able to run all of them too. That's obviously at this level you got to be able to run them all.
Exactly.
And at a high level and execute and get open and get off press coverage. But I would say my favorite route definitely would be a dig coming across the middle. And whether that be, we had a basic route here in Tampa, it was a 12-yard in, and we connected a lot of those. But I'd say a dig, at 16 to 18, or because you run enough of those, and you can set up, faking going in and then whip out with the chase route at 16 to 18 too. So I always tell people it's easy to catch the ball on the perimeter, but it's a true receiver is one who can catch the ball over the middle in traffic when those linebackers and safeties are screaming down and want to take your head off. So I definitely think the basic route at 12 yards, and then a nice dig coming across the middle late when those safeties are too high and that window opens, that QB rips it in there, so you get a nice gain. So I would say those two, above all. But again, I love running them all. Don't get me wrong.
Brave man, I would say to pick that as your favorite, a go-to. Okay, kind of go a little bit more off of that. Do you have a favorite play of your career so far? If you could elaborate a little bit on that, if you have one, or most memorable.
Yeah, I would say, God, that's just. It just takes me back from high school when I first really started getting things rolling, and then college, and then now here. But I'm going to do one of each. So in high school, we won state twice. Shout out to my man, Connor Barthel. That was my QB. We played high school and college together. So definitely in high school, winning state titles 2 times. In college, really just me and Connor breaking a lot of records there. He's one of my best friends off the field, too. So we kind of had that sixth sense or seventh sense, however you want to call it, of he would just know where to throw the ball, and I would know he would just know where I'd be, and we connected a lot. We broke a lot of records. We went to the University of Indianapolis, and we did a lot of good things together too. So definitely that's my favorite. One of my favorite plays, I guess, would just be just breaking records with Connor. It's all. I'm giving a lot of credit to him because he's a quarterback, and that's where it starts. And then I would say in my professional career, definitely my first NFL touchdown was in Miami. We were actually playing in New Orleans, and I had a nice little V route, 10 yards going in, and then Jake Ruddick hit me right there in the end zone, right in the Superdome. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
And then I'd say with XFL, definitely my personal best game before this whole the league unfortunately was suspended because of this virus going around. Was week 5 when we were out in LA, and I had a really good game there. I think I went 9 for 90, but all the credit goes to our offensive line, giving my boy Taylor, number 4, our quarterback, some time to throw. And we unfortunately lost that game, but me personally, I did very well and tried to help our team win. And when Taylor and I connected for that first my first touchdown of the XFL season, that was a great feeling there too, and celebrating with all the guys. But like I said, it starts us up front, and but that was probably my personal favorite, really so just game in the XFL, because that's when we really started getting things rolling. And then obviously, but sadly enough, the league was suspended because of it's bigger than football, obviously. But I would say those from each level were my favorite plays or moments, or just kind of overall, best feelings for me personally.
Okay, and the last question. What is one thing you learned in football that you can apply and keep throughout the rest of your life whenever it's all said and done, you hang the cleats up?
Yeah, I really just that relentless attitude, man, just to continue to get better, continue to learn, to be coachable, and just never really take a no for an answer. Whenever I'm done balling with, hopefully that's not for a few years down the road, but, whenever I do, hang it up, it's just all these characteristics that I can't wait to teach my children when that day comes. Just like I said, it teaches you to never take no for an answer. It teaches you to be coachable, to be disciplined, to work for something, because you don't just show up on Saturday and Sunday nights or days, whether you're in the NFL or XFL, and, we're here. Like, no, it takes months and months of in the weight room, on the field running, conditioning, footwork, et cetera, all the above. And, getting in your playbook, studying, knowing this stuff like the back of your hand, and just studying, being a student of the game is what I like to kind of, phrase that off of too. So just learning everything from the insides and outs, grinding, working for a common goal or a purpose, being able to work with other people. In the workforce, some people might not be able to work with other people too. So football, in a nutshell, taught me to be coachable, always be learning, be selfless, not selfish, and also working well with others and achieving a common goal.
Got you, man. Once again, I want to say thank you for taking the time out today to, let me get this interview with you.
Yes, sir.
This is ENA We Got Time, special guest Reece Horn, and that is it. Once again, I want to say thank you. Can't wait to see you on the field next year, and God bless.
Appreciate it, boss. Thanks for having me, Alex. Take care.
All right.